Hello students, and welcome to this video for Excel Chapter 1 Practice Exercise number 1. We're on page 473 of your textbook, page 473. I'm going to read through the information here at the beginning of our page while you're turning there. So you want to brush up on your math skills to test your logic by creating formulas in Excel. You realize that you should avoid values in formulas most of the time. Therefore, you create an input area that contains values you will use in formulas use in your formulas. To test your knowledge of formulas, you will create an output area that will contain a variety of formulas using cell references from the input area, and you will include a formatted title, the date prepared, and your name. After creating and verifying formula results, you will change input values and observe changes in the formula results. You will want to display cell formulas, so you create a picture copy of the formulas view, and of course we have figure 1.6 we can refer to throughout this exercise. Alright, so first off, it says we're opening up Excel Chapter 1 Practice Exercise 1 Math. So I have that opened up already. I downloaded it earlier, and we're going to save it with a new name. So actually first, I want to enable editing here, and then I'll save it here. It says File, Save As, and of course choosing to add our name. Now, I have it in download, so I do need to choose which folder it's going to. For you, that is your flash drive, and of course underscore last name, first name. Looks like that. And that was step A. Step B, it says type the current date in cell B2. So I'm clicking in cell B2 and typing in the current date in the format that they're showing. So I'm typing in the month first, then a slash, the day, then a slash, and then of course the year. It is crazy to believe we're in November already. And then it says here, type your first and last names in cell D2. Cell D2. Now you notice I put the information in there, but because my column is not wide enough for the date, B, it's changed to number signs. Don't worry about that right now. We'll come back later and fix that if we need to. So cell D2, right here it says student name, and of course we're typing our first name and last name, cell D2, and that was step B. Alright, step C, it says we're going to adjust the column width by doing the following. Click in any cell in column A. So I just click in column A like that. Click Format in the cell group. Once we've done that, we're clicking column width. And we're changing it to, it looks like 12.57. 12.57 for column width. And then of course it says click OK. And it's changed it there for column A. Then it says click in any cell in column B, and we're going to change the column width to 11. One way I can do it too is I can right click, and then I should have the format cells option here. And actually I guess we're going to have to do it this way. Format column width, forget right clicking I guess, and we're changing it to 11, and OK. And then of course click in any cell in column D. I think it was actually, yeah, it was right here. If I right click on the row header, or column header, I can adjust it. So I actually right click on the column D header, and of course I'm setting the width here too. This is a larger one, 35.57. So 35.57. And then of course pressing OK, and it adjusts it for me just like that. Step D, it says select the range A1 through E1. So A1 through E1. Click merge and center in the alignment group. So up here, merge and center. It says, of course it says only keeps the upper left value and discards all other values. Oh, hang on a second. Oh, you know what? I put this one in the wrong cell. It's very easy to make a mistake, it's especially in Excel here with it. So I'm going to do this right here. Let's copy it, or actually cut it, and then we're going to paste it right here. So if you follow my instructions and put it in the wrong cell, go and click and copy that over to B2. So now it looks correct. A1 through E1. Right there, there's our top row. Click merge and center. And then it says click bold in the font group, and then change the font size to 14. So I'm going to do that. and that is step D right there, step D. Then step E, it says select the range B5 through B8. So B5 is right there through B8. So it's those numbers right there. Click center in the alignment group. So right here is center in alignment group, and our numbers now line up here like that. Then step F, it says select range D10. So D10 is right there through D12. So these three right here. And that says click wrap text in the alignment group. So anytime you have a cell where you have a lot of information that could go into multiple lines, remember wrap text is a great way to fix that. All right, step G, we're going to start entering in some formulas. So enter the following formulas in column E. So in column E. So it says click in cell E5. Cell E5. And it says we're going to type in equals B5. So I'm actually going to do this. Equals B5 plus B6. Now you notice I'm using the semi-selection, the clicking, and of course push enter. And it's going to add the values together. Then it says enter the appropriate formulas in cells E6 through E8. So we went and typed in here B5 through B6. And of course, with that, it says Excel adds a value stored in B5, 1, 2, B6, and the results appear. And we're going to enter that into each one. So it says here, enter appropriate formulas, cells E6 through E8, pressing enter after each formula. Subtract to calculate a difference, multiply to calculate a product, and then divide to calculate a quotient. So, and you can see the instructions are right here. So the difference between the fourth and first values. So I'm going to put equals, and when it talks about difference, that is of course minus. So fourth, so B8 minus first value, 1 here. So B8 minus B5. And then the product of the second and third values. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply here. So equals B6 multiplied by, so asterisk, B7. So 2 and 3 right there. And I'll push enter. And then we're on the last one right here, which is quotient of the third and first values. So I'm going to put equals. Every time you type in a formula, you are putting in that equal sign. And then, of course, B6 for our second value here. And then, of course, a slash. Or, excuse me, I need to select not B6, but rather B7. There we go. And then, of course, B5. So B7 divided by B5, and push enter. So we have our formulas there. So 3, 3, 6, 3, and of course you can see the different ones. It's also in your textbook here as well. Then it says type B6 up arrow B7 in cell E9. So we're going to do that. Here's cell E9. We're going to do equals B6. Now the up arrow, if you hold down shift and push 6, that's how you do it. So B6, B7, excuse me, B7 for cell E9. And then of course it says push enter. And then it says enter the following here in cell E10. So I'm on E10 here. I'm going to type this in. So equals, I'm just type in B5 plus B6 multiplied by B8 minus B7. So it should look like this here in cell E10. And of course it's push enter, and explains in the textbook here how it comes to that. Alright, and then it says in cell E11, that's our next step, cell E11, we're going to type in the following. So equals, opening parentheses B5 plus B6, closing parentheses, asterisk for multiplication, opening parentheses, B8 minus B7, closing parenthesis. So we put those into E11, push enter, and it makes our other calculation here. And then of course we got one more to enter in, cell E12. So E12 is what should be on for this, equals B5 asterisk B6 plus B7 asterisk B8 in cell E12. So it should look like this, and then push enter, and it gives you the equation there. So you can also see that in figure 1.6 on your textbook if you have that with you. And then we're moving here onto the next page to step H. It says edit a formula and input the values. So we're going to do that. It says click in cell E12. So we're coming back up here. Click in the formula bar to edit the formula. So up here's our formula bar. I'm going to click up here. It says add parentheses as shown. So I'm clicking in front of B5, opening parenthesis, going to after B6, closing parenthesis, going before B7, opening, after B8, closing parentheses. And that says push enter on the left side of the formula bar. So over here's enter for the formula bar. So I click enter, and it puts it in down below. It says the answer is still 14. It does not affect, the parentheses do not affect it because multiplication occurred before the addition because of order of operations. Then it says type 2 in cell B5. So I'm going to cell B5, which it looks like right here, cell B5. It says type 4 in cell B6. It says type 6 in cell B7. And it says type 8 in cell B8. So it looks like this. And you notice it changed all our formulas as we went through. Double check the results of the formulas using a calculator or your head. The new results in cells E5 through E12 should be 6, 6, 24, 3, 4096, 28, 12, and 56 respectively. So it looks like mine didn't fully match up here. So let's take a look and make sure I've got these right. So I'm actually looking at the figure here. So I have it all typed in correctly, and for the most part the numbers there match. Some are a little bit off, but we're not going to mess with it here. I will double check though and make sure it says B5, enter in, oh, that's where my problem is. Type 2 in cell B5, and then 4, and then 6, and then 8. So now I have the correct amount. So I actually typed 5 in B5. So you always have to double check. Excel is a very easy one to just make slight errors and it messes up, because you've probably experienced this even when taking a math class of you being able to solve the problem, but you actually slipped up with one part with the numbers and adjusted everything else. So sometimes you just have to go back and check like we just did. So cell B5 should have number 2, and it should look like this. All right, then it says step I, double click sheet 1 tab. So down here, double click the sheet 1 tab. That allows us to, it goes into edit mode and we can rename it. So results is what it wants us to name it to. And then push enter, we're on step I. Right click the results sheet tab. Oh, let me try this again here. Right click the results sheet tab, and it says select move or copy. So we're going to do that, move or copy. And then it says click move to end in the before sheet section, and click create a copy. Checkbox is selected, and then we're going to click OK. It makes that extra one, and then it says double click results 2. We're entering in formulas, and then press enter. Alright, then step J, it says ensure that the formula sheet tab is active. So formula sheet tab is active. Then it says click the formula sheets tab and click show formulas in the formula auditing group. So So let's go here to, actually right here we're going with this one, excuse me, not this formula sheet tab. We're going up here to formulas up at the top, the formulas tab, and then we're going to click show formulas in the formula auditing group. So here's my formula auditing group, and clicking show formulas. So it's basically the same concept of we hold down the control button and push the grave accent mark. You can come up here and do the same thing in the formulas sheet tab. Alright, then what we're going to do is it says double click between columns, excuse me here, double click between column A and column B headings to adjust column A width. So right here in between column A and B, I move up here, double-headed arrow, double click. And of course it adjusted it. Then it says double click between column B and column C. So here's column B, column C, double click. And it adjusts it for me, basically an auto fit concept here. Then it says double click between column B and C headings to adjust column B. We already did that. Excuse me, I'm reading the same one. And then it says for D, let's set the width. So I'm going to right click on it, choose column width, and it says to set it to 24. And then enter. So it's looking like that so far. Now I am going to go back in here and put in today's date again. Actually, let's see if we... It shouldn't be changing it when we adjust it. So let me type in 11/2/2018. So I'm going to push enter again and check. Okay, I'm going to leave it, I guess, here. Okay, so if it shows the numbers like mine, for some reason it's doing that, we'll not worry about that because the program itself is doing it even though we're doing the right steps here. So just move on to step K. Step K says ensure that formulas worksheet is active. So it is up here. This is the one it's talking about, not this one. This one up here. And it says what we're going to do is we're going to click the page layout tab. So page layout tab, and do the following. Sorry, excuse me. Let me try this one more time. Formulas worksheet is down here in active, and we're clicking on the page layout tab. We get to add in worksheets and tabs now. Then it says click grid line print checkbox. So the grid line print checkbox. So right here, sheet options group. We're clicking print here. And then also for the headings group, we are clicking the checkbox to select it. So sheet options here. And then it says step L, click the results sheet tab. So down here, results sheet tab. So the words in the book might be a little bit confusing here between worksheets and of course the sheet tab. Then it says press and hold control and click the formulas sheet tab. So we're on results, but I held down control and click on formulas, so we have both of them selected here. And then do the following. It says click on orientation in the page layout or page setup group. So orientation, and we're changing it to landscape. And then it says click the insert tab and choosing header and footer in the text group. So text group is here, header and footer. And it says click go to footer, because right now we're on header. Now we're at the footer. It says type your name on the left side of the footer. So Mr. Rogers, first and last name, typing it in here. Then it says click in the center section and put in sheet name. So sheet name, that's up here. Header and footer elements, sheet name. Puts in that code until we click elsewhere. Then click in the right section, and you can see that changed here. Right section, and we are putting in file name. So right section, file name. And I'll click in the middle so you can see it. Of course, it changes from code to that. And of course, when I click on it, it changes back to the code. So it should look like this. Then we're almost done. Here's step M. It says click in the worksheet and click in the worksheet. So I'm going to move up my screen here. click in the worksheet itself, push Control, and then Home it says. So that brings us to the top, and then click Normal View. Down here in the status bar, that's what this is, at the very bottom, the status bar, and clicking Normal View to take it out of the header and footer view here. And then it says, what we're going to do is click on the File tab, and then we're going to click Print. Then it says verify each worksheet will print on one page. So this one is going to print on one page. Click the next arrow. This one will print on one page as well. And then what we'll do is we're going to push Escape to get out of that print preview. And then it says right click the worksheet tab. So this is our worksheet tab down here. Right click it, and it says Ungroup Sheets is what we're going to click on. So you can see basically when we held down Control and clicked on it, we grouped them together, and then we can right click and ungroup again. Just like that. So this is how it should look. You've got that here. You've got this here as well. I'm going to try one more time. Nope, it looks like it's set to date. Yeah, so leave the numbers there. This is how your results page should look. And then, of course, this is how the formulas page should look. You'll notice the column widths and are different. So when you submit this to me, it needs to match what you see in the video or you will lose points. So make sure you're paying proper attention to it. Sorry for a little bit of the confusion there with sheet tabs and, of course, the worksheet. Keyword, and sometimes it's easy for even me to get going through it quickly, switched here. These are worksheets, and then of course these are tabs, and so that can help you as you're following along. That can help me as we follow along, and of course that is how you do Excel Chapter 1 practice exercise number 1.